Alright, so this is what we're starting out with. This is Bowie's cage. This is his 40-gallon breeder cage. And I've taken all of his hides, his water dish, everything, all of his leaves out. They're being sanitized. And we're actually going to change his substrate. I've had this. Basically, I started all my snakes out on this. This is like shredded coconut husk and a little bit of like aspen. But I'm going to switch it out, and the whole tank is going to have this. It's like forest floor, reptibark, and then some of this mixed in it. I really like this stuff, but even like as you can see in the light, like it's so, I don't know if it'll pick that up, but it's so dusty, and anytime, you know, when I thaw my frozen thawed mice or rats out, if they've got any moisture on it, it just sticks to this stuff, and I don't want him to swallow that. So this is going to be more of like, not a care video per se, but just like everything you need to know about like how to set up your tank, what you need, what kind of items you need, where to put them. So he's got a couple things down here we're going to put back in his tank, and then like I said, the other things are being sanitized. So I will do that, and I will take you guys along every step of the way and explain what I'm doing and why. So first of all, once I get my snake out and get all the you know, the hides and everything out, this isn't like a must, but I always do it. I only deep clean my tanks probably like every couple months, just because it just really doesn't need it. Like, just for example, like if he was to go to the bathroom like right here, I spot clean, so I would just end up taking all of this out. Instead of just like a little bit, I take all of it out, you know, because the moisture gets down there, and I don't want him hanging out on a wet, dirty, you know, floor. So I always, you know, take the snake out and everything, and then I use my little vinegar and water solution to clean. Sometimes I'll use this stuff. This is like the only like brand name reptile tank cleaner I used. The next thing I do is I'm going to take all this stuff out from like this side over. I'm going to leave this stuff because that stuff's pretty new anyway, and that's what I want to be on the floor. So I'm going to take all this stuff out. And it hasn't been changed in a couple months, so it needs it. I'm going to take all that stuff out, then put new forest floor in there. So after I get done doing that, I'll show you guys where I'm at so far. Really quick, I just wanted to show you guys, you know how I said that there could be like moisture hiding under, you know, your substrate? Like this right here, if I wouldn't be like, you know, stripping this out on this side, I would have never, you know, saw that wet spot. And, you know, I mean, that just, I don't want him hanging out on that, because when you put things over it, like, you know, you can't really see it. So it's like, oh, the tank's clean. But, you know, that's why I like to deep clean every couple of months on all the tanks. Or I just like to get everything out for Bowie so he can have a nice clean cage to go back into. Okay, so now we have all of our substrate taken care of. We need to, okay, what I usually do is, I know that my heat mat is over here. So I know that my warm hide needs to be somewhere in this general area. So this is going to be the cool side. The most important things are, you know, your heat source, your belly heat source, and then, you know, making sure that you put your temperature probe. I always put mine in my warm hide. This is my, you know, temperature probe, and I always put it alongside wherever the hot hide is, and I put the little suction cup there. I kind of bury it a little bit. You don't want to bury the actual probe too, you know, too deep, because then it's going to be right up against the warm glass, and you're not going to get an accurate reading. So I put it like that. I try to make it flush so that when he lays on it, you know, it's not going to be bumping him. And Bowie loves to get tangled up in the wire. Somehow he never rips it down, but I try to put it as flush there as I can, and then I wrap it around a couple times. I actually Velcroed these. I just got some Velcro tape and did a little like DIY, I guess you'd call it, and then that's how I do that. I absolutely love this little corner water dish. So the way I put it in, obviously I don't want it to be, you know, like rubbing up the glass, because, you know, it could damage it. So I always dig out. This is like maybe not even an inch, so I dig out a little spot, but I leave a little bit of cushion. Like, I don't want this to be completely on the glass. So I go like that, and then usually what I do is I put like a couple little, you know, pieces in between, just so it's not, like I said, like grinding against the glass. Do that, and then I'll push it back a little bit where I want it to be permanently. But I'll fill that in a little bit better. I just wanted to show you guys real quick, and then I'm going to put my hide in. So yeah, these things really save a lot of space. Like, you can put them in a corner and they're out of the way and they're big enough for him to get in still. So yeah, there you go. Alright, so now we have almost everything complete. We've got his little, hide on the warm side, and I'm going to keep that between like 89 to like 91, 92 degrees. And he's getting his belly heat under, like when he's in his warm hide, it's right under there, so he'll get his belly heat so he can digest good over there. And believe it or not, this is actually his favorite little hide. He can barely fit in it anymore. So I put that on the cool side, because if I put that and another hide on the cool side, he'll pick this one. He'll ignore everything else. So I got that. And then I always like to put a little moss and like a kind of a little handful in random spots. Usually I put it under the water bowl. But I put it under there because I know he'll be spending a little bit of time over there. I just like to do that just to keep a little bit more humidity. And I keep my guys between like 50 and 60%, like the humidity between 50 and 60. So that's how I do it, and all my snakes do good. They give full sheds, no stuck shed or anything like that. And this piece of wood is actually, I got it at my local pet store as a bird perch. So there's like the screw thing that you would like perch onto your bird cage. So what I do is I just take like all my little decoration leaves and stuff, and I just like, kind of decorate the whole thing. I've got one over there, a little pretty pink flower for Bowie. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Pink's like his favorite color. But I'm going to go through this kind of fast because I did have Bowie soaking, just to kind of give him a little clean off, and I needed to just distract him while I was doing his cage. So he was getting a little antsy, so he's actually now around my neck. So I'm going to try to hurry up so he can get in his cage, get him a little drink, and I will let you guys see the finished product once I'm done and see how he reacts once I put him in there. Alright, really quick, you guys, I know the lighting is terrible. It's nighttime and all I have is this like little reptile like heating light for some light. But really quick, this is Bowie's little hide now. This is on his warm side, so that's where he'll spend most of his time now. But when I first got him, he loved this little coconut, and it's tiny, you can see. I mean, this is when he was like 70 grams. He was like a little teeny tiny baby. Then he moved up to this little tree trunk thing, a little more spacious, and he loved that. He would wrap himself around, and when I'd lifted him up, he'd be stuck up inside it. So he loved that. And then he moved on to this, and he liked that pretty well. This was cool, just like this one, because it keeps like the warmth. Like this is plastic, these are both plastic, but this like holds onto the heat a little bit more. So it didn't take him long, and then finally had to go to this, and this has been his favorite hide, other than his little plastic log thing over there. But he loved this one, and this one isn't very much bigger than this one. I don't know, he just loved it though. So what I would do is I would put like this much substrate, and then I would kind of like dig a little groove out to make it bigger, so I make it deeper. Because if not, he wouldn't be able to fit through it, or in it, I mean. I guess we'll just call it a cage tour. And like I said, Bowie's like on my neck and my arm, and actually he's like really excited. Oh, there he is. He's really excited to get in his cage. Okay, so over on this side, well, first of all, we have Reptibark Forest Floor for the substrate. And like I said, I apologize for the lighting in here, guys. I have a lamp on the other side of the room. And then I have like this teensy tiny little 75 watt heating lamp just to try to lighten things up a little bit. So there's the substrate, and then I've got this little corner water bowl. I put some moss, like a big handful of moss underneath that just to collect water and keep the humidity where it needs to be. Then this little, log that he loves to get in. See, he's like ready to get in his cage. And he's been out for like 2 hours now, so he's ready to go home. Okay, here, buddy, let me help you. Gosh, you're such a freak. What are you doing? I'm helping you. Here. Let me help you. I know you're a man now. I understand. You're independent. Here. There you go, bub. Okay, so anyway, then we have this little, it's a bird perch, like I said. I don't know if it's like driftwood or whatever kind of wood it is, but it's really pretty. And then that little, Bowie's favorite little pink flower over there. Then there's another reptile, fake plant decoration. He's like checking everything out. So that wood piece is under there. All these things are like, just resting on the little wood. And then here's his big warm side hide. And it's just, I know you guys have seen these before. They're just, they're not wood, they're a harder material. So then I got another plant, and his probe goes all the way down. He's got a heat mat underneath here, and then the thermometer, and it looks like it's warming up in there. And that is pretty much it. And I keep the like the ambient temperature anywhere from, like, you know, I never let it get below 75. I actually never let it get below like 80. It kind of fluctuates, and then sometimes, like, if your snake will lay on your probe, it'll make it a little colder. So you just kind of got to be aware of that. That's why I have this little temp gun, which is, like, I didn't have one for the longest time, but now that I have it, I could not live without it. It comes in handy with everything. So here's Bowie checking out his new little house. Seems like he likes it. Bowie's definitely an explorer. Like, when he has new surroundings, he, like, goes back and forth and he's checking everything out. Tango and Bowie both are very curious snakes, and I don't know if it has to do with their age or just because they're so tame. I don't know, but see, he's checking out his house. This is the first time he's actually seen his house, because, like I said, I did make him this thing until I got my hide, and I just, like, cut out a little spot, and then I put a bunch of plants and stuff over it so it wasn't so see-through. He went in at one time, turned around, and never went back. And then he was, like, hiding in this for like a week straight. So I was like, that's just, you know, we got to get another hide. So this is his first time in there. Looks like he likes it. His little fat tail's sticking out. Look at your little face. You're so handsome. You're such a handsome guy, Bowie. Oh, you like your cage, or not your cage, you like your new house? I don't have a mouse for you, but you had one yesterday. You had two yesterday. So yeah, this is basically just a basic, you know, I didn't go over tank size. I just went over like what I do with my cage, and Bowie, he's definitely under a year. Excuse me. So he has a 40-gallon breeder cage. You just basically have to just go by common sense. I mean, some people get crazy with the measurements and stuff, but if your snake looks cramped, get it a bigger cage. I mean, for my snakes, bigger is better, but I know that some people's ball pythons, a lot of them, you know, they'll get stressed out if they have too big of a tank and this and that, and they won't eat. So you just have to go by how your snake acts, how your snake, you know, deals with change. These guys, I really don't know if they would be happy in like a tub situation, and I don't breed anyway, and I've only got 3 snakes, so, you know, I spoil them. Everything's kind of dark in here because I'm switching lamps around, but everybody's got a 40-gallon breeder tank. So, but like I said, you know, just look up the measurements, study them, and, you know, think of what you think that your snake would be okay with. If you put your snake in a big 40-gallon like this and they stop eating for a while, or they just never come out of their hide, or they seem stressed or anything, you know, put them back in a smaller tank, because sometimes smaller is better, because not every ball python is going to be like my guys. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. More videos will be coming soon. I know I haven't been posting forever. We had to move, our apartment flooded, it's been crazy. It's just been a mess. I've had to be going to the vet for a couple of my pets, and it's wild. So anyway, I apologize for being gone so long, but I am back now permanently, and I'm going to try, I know that I say that I'm going to post videos every Wednesday/Thursday, but it's going to be Friday from now on. So thank you guys for sticking with me. I really appreciate the support, and all the subscribers I have, as well as all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. And we will see you in our next one, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave any questions, comments, or concerns down below, and I will see you soon.